Here's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Local Hour. We have two great conversations for you. We're going to talk EKU Baseball with Outfielder Max Williams, and then Coach A.W. Hamilton rejoins the show to talk about the roster upgrades made for EKU Basketball. That's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Local Hour.
McKinney looks, steps into pocket, throws, open receiver, touchdown! Colonels, we're not done yet!
Our identity is we're going to press for 40 minutes, we're going to play up-tempo, we're going to play with unbelievable passion, and then our brand is the most exciting 40 minutes in sports.
Welcome into an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour, presented by IPM Pest and Termites, Central Kentucky's neighborhood pest professionals. We are back after a week off from the Local Hour, and we have a wonderful program for you today. Max Williams, the outfielder from Lexington and now at EKU, joined us after a phenomenal weekend, including one game where he hit 3 home runs in one game. He's going to talk with us about the final stretch run here for EKU Baseball. And then A.W. Hamilton joins the show again and provides some great detail about the new roster that they have going into next season as well. Other things going on in the EKU sports world, of course, golf. Excuse me. You have the young lady, and I'm afraid to say her name for saying it wrong, but she is in the ASUN tournament and actually in the college tournament, and as of the last time I saw the update, she was close to the top 10 and still fighting for there as well. The big announcement came from Matt Rohn of the big upgrades coming to the Alumni Coliseum, and so they will be coming in about a year from now, I suppose, is when they start work after next basketball season is completed, and of course that'll upgrade the offices and the areas for men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball as well will all be included in that upgrade there. So that's all exciting news. Also, we might talk a little bit of football here in a minute as well, talking about spring training and a couple of things that saw going on there, spring practice, and things going on there as well. But I want to go ahead and get you first to our first interview, which is Max Williams, the outfielder from EKU Baseball. Had a great weekend, like I said, and looking forward to hearing from him. We're going to hear first, real quick, a spot telling you all about All Around Roofing. They sponsor our guest appearances. So we'll hear from All Around Roofing, and then we'll hear from Max Williams.
Does the exterior of your home need a facelift? All Around Roofing has you covered. All Around Roofing is a veteran-owned company servicing Madison County and all of Central Kentucky. From roof repairs and replacements to gutters, siding, windows, soffits, chimney flashings, and more. All Around Roofing provides quality work and friendly service that will leave your house looking great. Call today at 859-489-5179 to get a free quote. That is 859-489-5179. We can handle your all-around exterior needs at All Around Roofing.
Welcome back into the Sports Stove Local Hour. We are joined now by all-around roofing guest Max Williams, outfielder from EKU Baseball. Max, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, of course, you're having had a pretty good week this past week. I was looking at your stats through the whole season. You got 6 home runs. 3 of them came in one game this past week, but one of the things that I've been noticing with all the guys that have been around last year is all the stats are going up. Everybody's stats are rising, and you're exactly the same. Your batting average is about the same, but your RBIs are already up. Your home runs are up. Your walks are way up. Stolen bases, you've already doubled last year's stolen base. You got 2, and you had 1 last year. You've been hit 11 times by pitches. So I was looking through all these things, but again, most of those things are all up from last year. You've only played 45 games so far this year. You played in 47 games last year. So what is the reasons? I'm sure there's more than one for that bump in your stat production.
Just being more comfortable, having that first year of experience under the belt really helps. And Just really embracing the role this year, and just trying to do everything to help the team win. Really is what it comes down to.
So you and Kendall both have been hit 11 times by pitches. Is there strategy in that, or is it just the way the pitch came?
Not so much strategy. There are sometimes when guys are throwing me in. So with 2 strikes, I might get a little bit more on the plate, try to wear one. But I mean, more often than not, it just happens.
Yeah. Does it? I mean, excited. I never played baseball. I played slow pitch softball. I played t-ball as a kid. Whatever. So, how bad does a sun pitch hurt when it hits you?
Not. It doesn't hurt too bad. It just, the adrenaline in the moment. You might feel it after the game, but not so much.
As long as it doesn't hit you like right on a bone or something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, it always just looks painful. I don't know. I mean, you see it all the time in the major leagues and college. It just looks painful. But you're tough, so it's not allowed to hurt anymore at the very least. You guys are on a 5-game win streak. You kind of went through a real rough stretch there after an amazing start to the ASUN, the whole season. But you guys are back on track. You've won 5 straight. You won almost all your games since that little quick losing streak that you guys went through. You're 17-7 in the ASUN, first overall in the ASUN, but you've got 2 series left against teams that are right on your guys' heel. And let's start with talking about Lipscomb. Lipscomb is kind of what sent you into that rough stretch there just a few weeks ago. How are you guys feeling about them coming into Earlcombe Stadium and getting to host them this time?
Feeling good about it. I feel like the first time around they didn't get our best shot, so I feel like we know more about ourselves now. So we're looking forward to having another go around with them.
Yeah, and having those 3 games at home, that'll be your last home stretch. So you guys got Louisville in between Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas will be on the road. That's quite the trip down to Conway. Are you guys flying or busing down there?
We're busing there, and then I believe flying after that down to Florida, I believe.
Okay. Well, that's good at least. Yeah, I know the football team, they still talk about the bus ride to Conway and how much of a pain that trip is. That's a long one. I want to get you down there, though, for sure. So you got 7 games left in the season. Like I said, you're first in the ASUN. You're 21-4 at home. You got a 500 record on the road. I think it's 11-11 if I remember correct. But 21-4 at home is an incredible home record for you guys. What is it about home that is so comfortable for you guys?
I just think we're really used to the environment, and the fans have been great this year, so that really helps. And it took us a little bit at the beginning of the year to start playing well on the road, but as of the last few road series, we've started clicking there as well.
Yeah, of course, you started out on the road because it was so stinking cold here, but it stayed cold for a while. You guys have finally had some nice nights. Of course, it was a little overcast this past weekend, but some nice weather finally. I know Coach Prothro said it would help recruiting if the weather could warm up a little bit and stuff like that. Do you have any fun recruiting stories? Of course, you're from just up the road, but was there, when you were looking where you're going to go to school, college at, what kind of came down to choosing EKU?
I don't know if I have any funny stories regarding recruiting. I've always loved it here. This was the place that I always had in mind. I've been coming here since I was in 8th grade to camps and whatnot. So I've just really I enjoyed the whole recruiting process, and everything went smoothly with that.
Coach Prothro, of course, you had him last year as well, but it seems like everybody has really settled in. I know you guys have a lot of turnover, a lot of new faces this year, but I mean, this team has really settled into what he's doing, what the staff is doing as well. What can you say about Coach Prothro positively? We're trying not to dog him on the show. So what do you say positively about Coach Prothro, the staff, and what you're getting out of them, how they're helping you?
Coach Pro and the staff have been amazing. They're available whenever you need them. They really understand our goals, and they're willing to do whatever they can to help us get there. And I really appreciate the things that they've done this year. Absolutely.
Let's see here. We've got the ASUN tournament coming up. Of course, last year you guys were in the OVC. You've seen pretty much, I guess you've seen everybody now for the most part in the ASUN. Level of play, would you say it's drastically different or close to the same? How would you rate the OVC versus the ASUN?
So far this year, the talent in the ASUN has been very good. And, the OVC last year also very competitive as well. So, I've enjoyed being in both conferences for sure. But the ASUN this year, definitely a lot of talent.
Yeah, it was one of those things when they moved up, it was obviously going to be, I think baseball and maybe volleyball were the two that really seemed like the most obvious as jumps talent-wise and things like that, the schools that you're playing against. Getting ready to head to Florida here pretty soon for the ASUN tournament. What are you guys expecting out of that tournament? What's obviously your goal is to win, but you're going to face some stiff competition both the rest of this regular season, but now we're getting to that end point, and I'm assuming the goals are set pretty high for the tournament.
Yeah, our goal when we stepped on campus in the fall has been to win the ASUN tournament and make it to a regional. So it's something that we're very prepared for mentally and physically, and we're ready to get down there and show everybody what we're made of.
Do you think the Florida Heat will be a negative this time versus the of course you weren't in Florida to start the season, but warmer weather to start the season?
No, I don't think that'll have an effect. We're pretty comfortable in the heat as well.
Yeah. I'm going to close out the interview with a couple of questions, non-baseball related. We ask all the athletes these questions, so just to help people get to know you a little bit. First question, what's your favorite movie?
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Nice. Now, of course, they've got sequels. Did you like any of the sequels?
The original.
Okay, yeah, the original by far the better one, no doubt about that. Let's see here, and I'm sorry, something's ringing. Then let's see here, your favorite musical artist, musician, that kind of thing.
That's a tough one. I'd probably have to go with Luke Combs. He doesn't make any bad. He doesn't have a bad song.
All right. Favorite food?
Steak.
Now, how do you like it cooked?
Medium rare.
Okay. Good man. Your favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
That's a great one. I like that one a lot as well. Last one for you. This one's a little bit more of a thought provoker. If you could have dinner or sit down with one person, past or present, famous, non-famous, it doesn't matter. But if you could have a couple hours to talk with somebody, who would that be?
That is a tough one. I feel like we have a lot of we share a lot of similarities, and it'd be fun to talk to him. I'll go with Mike Trout.
Oh, that'd be a great one. Yeah, very good. I'll do my best to connect you with him. He's on my fantasy baseball team, so we're basically best friends. No, that would be a fun conversation to have for sure as well. Max, it's exciting to see the growth that you've made here in year 2, and excited to see what's ahead for you and for the team as we wind down the regular season and get into the tournament time. Congratulations so far on the success, and good luck moving forward. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, that's Max Williams from EKU Baseball. Sure appreciate him coming. And again, the baseball team is rolling as they enter the final stretch of the season. 3 home games this weekend. If you can get out there and support the baseball team, I encourage you to. I sadly am out of town this weekend, and so I can't make it to those. But again, they got Lipscomb at home. Then they've got 1 game against Louisville, and then they head to Central Arkansas before the ASUN tournament. So a great season for Coach Pro and the guys there with EKU Baseball, and now it's just time to finish it, right? Gotten this far, now let's finish it off, and huge season for EKU Baseball so far this year. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk with A.W. Hamilton, head basketball coach at EKU. We have a great conversation with him talking about the additions as well as the returning guys from EKU basketball, and some news regarding one of the players whose career is over. So we'll talk about that with Coach Hamilton. But first, a word from our sponsors.
With over 20 years of experience, Matt Schaefer and the good folks at locally owned IPM Pest and Termite provides pest control service for all of Central Kentucky's pest control needs. Whether you have a current pest control problem or want to prevent infestation from ever entering your home, IPM Pest and Termite offers maintenance programs that will help keep pests out of your home and provide peace of mind. So for dependable, reliable services that you can count on, get in touch with our good friend Matt Schaefer and IPM Pest and Termite today at myipm.com. That's myipm.com.
Does the exterior of your home need a facelift? All Around Roofing has you covered. All Around Roofing is a veteran-owned company servicing Madison County and all of Central Kentucky. From roof repairs and replacements to gutters, siding, windows, soffits, chimney flashings, and more. All Around Roofing provides quality work and friendly service that will leave your house looking great. Call today at 859-489-5179 to get a free quote. That is 859-489-5179. We can handle your all-around exterior needs at All Around Roofing.
Welcome back into the Sports Stove Local Hour, presented by IPM Pest and Termite, Central Kentucky's neighborhood pest professionals. We had a great conversation with A.W. Hamilton. We're going to give that to you here in just a second. Want to give you a heads up, though. We do not talk about Isaiah Cozart in this interview because Isaiah has not officially signed yet, and so Coach is not allowed to discuss him. Just so you're aware, that's the reason we don't talk about him when we talk about all the additions. But that conversation will come soon enough. But there's plenty of other great additions as well as returning guys on this team, and Coach Hamilton gives us a great breakdown of that. So, again, all of our guests are made possible by All Around Roofing. We sure appreciate them. Go to Facebook, search All Around Roofing KY, get all the information you need about them there. And I actually just had my roof replaced from All Around Roofing, and so I can personally vouch for the service that they offer. Wonderful, very quick, very easy to deal with. And so make sure you visit All Around Roofing. And if you have any exterior needs in your house, take care of that. Speaking of renovations, Coach Hamilton's done one with his roster. Let's hear from him now about that. Now, welcome back to the Sports Stove podcast, the one and only A.W. Hamilton, head basketball coach at Eastern Kentucky. Coach, doing all right?
I'm doing good. I've been busy.
Yeah. You guys have been doing, I've seen you and a couple of the players out, a couple different schools and stuff like that, elementary schools and things like that as well. I know you're a busy guy outside of just with the coaching aspect of things, but how much do you enjoy getting out into the communities, meeting the kids and letting the players kind of have that experience as well?
No, it's great. So what they got is they got state testing that started this week. So we went around and we did some pep rallies and just get the kids excited about the testing coming up and, pump them up and let them be around our guys. We had a blast, man. It was awesome.
How much of that do you do with your players, getting them out, trying to teach them, the importance of giving back to the community and things like that?
I think, Vince, it's so important. It's one thing we preach in our program. It's not what you get, it's what you give. And, we want our guys being invested in this community, invested into our university, because you come to our games, Vince, our fans, our university, everybody's rallied behind these guys. I mean, we set a school record, most season tickets ever sold. We've had 3 of the biggest crowds in the last decade. And, and also, I'm coaching basketball, but I'm teaching life. And, when I'm in this position or, it's like, Vince, you're a father, it's bigger than this game, yeah. And that's something important to teach those guys. And, and our guys do a phenomenal job though. Michael Marino's is phenomenal out in the community. Cooper Robs does a really good job. Iron Bennett, he's got a smile that's worth $1 million, man. When he walks in and smiles, he just captivates the crowd. So really proud of our group.
Let's talk about that group. You got 7 guys returning. 6 of them played minutes last year. Of that group, you lost several key players, a couple key players and whatnot from all that. But you look at guys, Cooper Robb, of course, Michael Moreno, you've already mentioned. Those guys are veterans, well-tested, leaders of the team. Tay, young, but still a veteran at this point in his career as well. I want to talk about Desean Jackson. It'll be his sophomore year. You look at the kid, he's built. My goodness, the kid's got some good size to him. And last year he played, some games more minutes than others, of course, kind of getting his feet wet and different things like that. So when you look at that second-year jump, you saw it in Tay to a degree last year. I think he was a second-year sophomore or something like that last year. But that second-year jump, how big is that? How important is that, especially for guys, DJ, the main one this year?
Well, DJ's a super talented kid now. And we loved him out of high school. He was well coached. We got him. We have high expectations for him. And it was kind of a weird year, Vince, because with COVID and everything that we were dealing with, there was 2 trips that he couldn't go on. It was one of those type of years. He just had a hard time finding the rhythm. And then, when we started the year, we were a really good basketball team and we were healthy and we were a good team. And it was hard for him to find a rhythm. And then as we started losing some guys and he had an opportunity, there was a couple trips he couldn't make it on because, when somebody had symptoms, we didn't feel like it was safe to put him on an airplane. Yeah. And but he's had a great spring. He made a huge jump in the weight room, and that's what we challenged our guys with. We did all player development, strength and conditioning. That was our focus this spring, and he was lights out, man. He was lights out, Vince. I'm so proud of him. I met with him today to tell him how proud I was of him and how hard he's worked. He's put on about 10 pounds of muscle. He's gained a lot of confidence on the court, shooting the basketball. So, I'm really excited about DJ.
Yeah, he adds a unique perspective with the size that he gives you, the bulk that he gives you, along with the athleticism as well. Tay is a kid. Again, I know you love all these kids. Tay is a kid. He just seemed to really make a great jump. We had Coach Lepore on with us at the end of the season, and he talked about the progress that Tay made this season, and now he's progressing into a leader as well, it sounds like. You got just that unique skill set. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. He's proud of his passing. You don't always find guys that aren't point guards that are proud of their passing. He is. And so you got him coming back too. He's got to be a valuable part of what's returning for you guys, right?
Vince, no question. He was a double-figure scorer for us. He was our leading rebounder. He had 85 assists and 45 turnovers, so he's a great playmaker. We went to Tay a lot late in games, and he wasn't scared of the moment. He was playing really good basketball, and then he suffered turf toe, which is a crazy injury that you very rarely see in basketball. But we went through about everything last year. But this is what I challenged Tay with and our whole team. It's like, okay, listen, we've got to become a player-led program. And what that means is every one of our guys holding themselves accountable so they can hold each other accountable. And Tay-Tay's got to – it's time for him to take more ownership of the program. He's a real quiet kid. And I say, hey, listen, you may never talk a lot, but when you talk, it's got to mean something. Listen, Vince, the kid lives in the gym. He wants to be great. He wants to be an all-league guy. But more importantly, he wants to win. He wants to win. And so, I'm excited for Tay. He made a huge jump last year, and he's going to make another jump. And the thing that I need him to do, he's a good free throw shooter. And I'm like, Tate, let's get you to the free throw line. He's got a big, nice frame on him. No, let's use your frame, and watching when you watch these guys in the NBA, they come off a pick and roll. I mean, it's not the ending move they make; it's how they use their body to get to their spot and get to that rim. And so we've got to do a good job trying to get Tate to attack the basket. Let's get to his mid range. Let's get him to the free throw line. And he's going to do it. He wants to do it. He's a hungry kid. He's a competitive kid. So he'll take another jump.
And we've talked about Cooper and Michael in other past episodes and had them on the show and stuff like that. So we're going to skip them today. Michael Wardy, he earned more and more minutes as the season went along. The other teams basically see him as a dunker, and obviously he can do that. But he brought a lot of energy to the defensive side of the ball, I thought at least, and was so aggressive with attacking the basket. And it seemed like, from my amateur eyes, that he just got a lot more confident that last, 4 or 5 games. He just seemed like he was ready to take over. And what are you seeing from him this spring and expectations for him coming into next season?
Yeah, listen, I couldn't have been happier with what Wardy did for us last year. He shot over 70% from the field. He bought into what he was really good at last year. Going into the season, we lose Iron, then we basically lose Jansen Williams. And, he had to play more than he thought he was and we thought he was. But he did a great job. And after the season, what we really focused on with him was we got to get him bigger and stronger so he can guard, bigger and more physical guys in the post. And listen, he ended the season around 202, 203. He's up to about 221. Our strength coach, John Mike, has done a tremendous job with him. His body looks phenomenal right now. So, I'm proud of that. And we spent a lot of time this spring on just his face-up game. Him playing from the mid post and then him playing from the top of the key when we run our thumbs up action, and him being able to attack out of those spots. And, he's got great feet. He's a quick jumper. And so he's done really good this spring. I'm excited for Wardy. And I just told him at the end of the season, I said, let's get you to 225. And heck, Vince, he's at 221 right now. I mean, he's making me look good right now.
Well, when the guy has a Jumpman tattoo, you got to expect him to jump, and he can definitely fly for sure, which is a fun aspect of the game. Always a fun time. Let's talk about some of your new guys coming in. One of the things that you lost was point guard with Shad graduating out, and so you bring in a pretty explosive backcourt in your recruiting class, along with more shooting and things like that. It sounds like that you're going to need at least one, if not more, of these freshmen to actually step up and play some pretty big minutes for you next season.
No, absolutely. I need them all to play. And look, it's going to be ups and downs early. They're freshmen, yeah. But I absolutely love all three of them. Desean is a winner. He led his team to a state championship in Indiana. He's one of the top 5 players coming out of the state of Indiana. He was city player of the year in Indianapolis. He had a lights out season. But the thing that I love about him is just his will to win, his passion to win, how competitive he is. And he's got a college ready body, and he loves the game, Vince. I mean, he loves the game. And then, then you look at Leland Walker, who's the highest incoming recruit in school history. He's a 4-star. And, he had offered a lot of really, really big programs. And Leland's he's a dynamic kid now. I mean, he can do a little bit of everything. And, he's, people here, they're going to be, he's going to have that wow factor. He's going to have the wow factor. And but I think ESPN's got him a top 39 point guard in the country. He's every bit of that. So excited about Leland. And then Turner is our first Mr. Basketball since Irvin Stepp, first incoming Mr. Basketball since Irvin Stepp. And then, Turner, man, Turner is he's got this big chip on his shoulder. He's always been an underdog. And he just, man, he wants it. I mean, he's got that just will to win. the passion for the game, and he's I didn't see a better shooter in the state this year than that kid. I mean, he is a lights out shooter, and he's, I went down to watch him in the region, and I'm sitting there watching him. And I was like, man, he hit like 2 in a row, and I said, I would tell him, hey, just as soon as you cross half court, just pull it,
Yeah.
And as soon as that kid crossed half court, he did it, and he hit it, and I was like, that's my guy, but he's gonna be really good for us. So I love all those guards.
Leland, does he obviously there's going to be a little bit of pressure, I guess would be the right word for him, because he's coming in with high expectations from the fan base. I know that you have high expectations for all the players that come into the program, but since we don't know him, what's his mindset like? You talk about competitiveness or will to win, those kinds of things, but he's going to come in with a lot of expectation from the fan base. And fan bases, as much as you love them, they can be fickle. So how is he going to handle that extra pressure, I guess?
He'll handle it fine. He's he and Tayshawn are best friends. They're dying to play with each other again. And, he's coming from Hargrave Military Academy, one of the best prep schools in the country. He's played against great competition all year. And, he's one of those guys that he's a pass first guy, and he's got a high basketball IQ. He knows how to play. He understands the game, and he'll be just fine. Now, what it is with all young guys. There'll be some bumps in the road, and that's okay. That's okay. I wouldn't trade these 3 guys for anybody.
Now, you've talked about all the guys coming in, and your excitement was there for every single one of them. But it seemed like once you started talking about Taylon Martin, something just clicked special for you, that the excitement level for what he can bring to this team, to your program. And he seems really excited about it as well. As I was watching some interviews with him earlier. The way you mentioned it is his athleticism is just off the charts.
Yeah, I mean, he is a quick jumper. He's unbelievable in transition. He's unbelievable in the open floor, and he doesn't get enough credit for how he can shoot the basketball. He's got great range. He's got a nice release. And at one time, Vince, he was a top 100 recruit in the country. And then he got kind of knocked off his path, and then he bounced back, and he ended up playing this year at CSI, a really good junior college. He was the 35th best, junior college player in the country, according to, the JUCO reports. And so he comes in, he's an older guy. Again, he's a competitive kid. He wants to kind of show like, hey guys, I was a top 100 player in the country for a reason. So, he'll bring a great spark to us.
I've seen him listed as a point guard. I've also seen him listed as a wing. I know you don't have everybody in the gym yet working, but is that where you see him as a ball handler, or do you see him as someone who plays off the ball?
He's a playmaker. So our thing is, I want as many playmakers as we can have. And then you surround them with shot makers, and then you end up having a really good offensive team and a high efficient team. And, towards the end of the year, that's what we were missing last year. We needed more playmakers. We couldn't get our shooters shots. So Taylor can do a little bit of that. I mean, he can make shots, but he can make plays off the bounce. You'll see him in ball screens. You'll see him pushing the ball up the floor, and he'll bring a dynamic punch to us.
I'll give you 2 more names, and I'll let you go. You got in along with your your signings, I guess, John, and I don't know how to say his name, Ukumato. All right, I was close. You got him. He coming in. He's 6'7", according to the work that I've seen. And he seems like he's another athletic big, I guess, so forward that can give you some size as well as some athleticism there from that position.
Yeah, I'm excited about all these guys. I think we got an absolute steal in John. I mean, so now he had a bunch of offers. We beat some really good programs to get him. But, I mean, I think our fans, they're going to love this kid. He can play multiple positions, but he is long. He is a great runner. The kid loves to play. He lives in the gym. He's going to be dynamic for us. You talk about pressing and running and playing fast and getting out and passing lanes. All right, this is him, man. This is him, Vince. This is him. He'll have some special moments for us next year. He's one that, like I kept telling my staff, like, wow, how how are we getting this kid? How are we getting this kid? So I'm really excited about John.
Now, we can't talk about Isaiah. That'll be a future conversation. So when people are listening to this going, why aren't they talking about Isaiah? That's coming eventually. But Dardan, he's the guy that we've not heard a whole lot about. The press release came out that you guys signed him, and he's a big kid, 6'10", a lot of size. Of course, Reek left the program, so you kind of lose some height out of that. What does Dardan give this team?
Well, and not only did we lose Tariq, but Aaron Bennett, unfortunately, medically is not going to be cleared to play. So, with his knees and, he tweaked his knee in the summer when he got here. He got through the year. Our medical team did a phenomenal job, Vince, just kind of getting them to practice and getting them to the games and giving them a chance to play. We looked at the knee again after the season, and the doctors, our trainer, Jeff Carrico, all recommended he step away so we could protect Aaron for his life. And so Aaron's going to join our staff, though. Aaron's going to join our staff as a graduate assistant. So, he's going to still be with us. And so what we had to do is get some depth, and we had to get some size in our front court. And what Darden gives us is, he's 6'9", 6'10". He's got a live body. He's a talented young man, and so, he'll be really good for us. He's a lot like Wardy, but a little bit bigger. So he'll give us some more size down there.
Last thing for you, Coach, they announced athletic director Matt Rona announced the big renovations coming to the Alumni Coliseum. And that's going to come after this next season, the way I understand it. But what are you excited about? How is that going to help the program? You guys are improving a lot of things from what I was reading in there, and just another example of what the university is doing to support the athletics program.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Matt, his leadership, Dr. McFadden, Luis Diaz. They really worked really hard on this, trying to make this happen. It's not only going to be great for our program, but the women's program, the volleyball program, but this community. It's a game changer for us. So, I know, Vince, you and I talk about this all the time, but this is the perfect time to be at Eastern Kentucky. Things are moving fast in the right direction, and we got unbelievable leadership that's pushing us forward. So this is a great time to be at EKU.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I talked with some parents of athletes, and they're excited about what's ahead. Everybody's just on board with what's going on, and it's great to see the program moving forward. Coach, I know you're incredibly busy. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us again. So thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Thank you, Vince. Good.
All right. So that's Coach Hamilton. We sure appreciate him again. He's been running wild. So it's great for him to come and chat with us, and sure appreciate and don't take for granted that time that he gives us as well. So a lot of interesting stuff there. A few things that caught my attention. He says that Dardan is a bigger Michael Wardy. Well, that's going to add some fun to the program. And to me, it's amazing. Last year it was such a veteran-laden team. They're going to need those freshman guards to step up in a big way. So it'll be fun to see where they get to. And as practice is going, they're going to the Bahamas this summer. So they're going to get a little bit of extra practice time this summer as well, which is a great opportunity for them to kind of get to know each other. It's going to be a tall task, but I think the 13 and 18 season from last year will quickly be forgotten when these guys get on the floor, and of course the returning guys along with the new talent as well is a lot of fun. I want to close out the episode today talking a little bit of EKU football. Since we didn't have a show last week, that's what we were going to talk about last week, but I got to go to the spring game and took some notes, kind of watched some different things, some things I keep my eyes on. Of course, not everybody's here yet. We got freshmen that'll come in through the summer and things like that as well. So not everything that we saw is going to be obviously the final, or maybe even tell us a whole lot about what they're thinking going in the next season. But a couple things. Number one, offensive line. I was curious to see kind of where the guard situation was there with some of the guys they brought in. The first guys out for the offensive line, Peyton Collins and Drew Hart on the tackles, Tucker Schroeder and Crojon Calvert at guard. Calvert was a new addition. And then Watkins at center. Something that was interesting, Braden Sloan got the first touches at running back. Of course, so did Hewitt and McGlure. They got a lot of carries and things as well. But I thought that was interesting that Sloan was the first one out on the field. Wide receivers was Jaden Higgins, Jaden Smith, and Kiki McFadden, the first three on. Of course, Dak Allen at tight end. Defensively, I was very curious to see kind of the alignment on defense, what they were going to do there. T.K. McClendon, Ryan Jackson up front. There's a number 90, and there was no number 90 in the roster, and I forgot to ask who that was. I assume it was Kelton Dawson because I didn't see him out there on the other number, but I could be wrong. May have just missed him elsewhere. And so I apologize. Not sure who that was there. They were the first three out on the defensive line. Then linebackers, you had Matt Jackson, Eli Hairston, Kylan Robinson, and Jaden Bost out there. Jackson and Bost on the edges, Hairston and Robinson in the middle there as well. Kylan is a new addition to the team. Bost getting an opportunity this year. At safety, it was Cheek Fall and KJ Figures. Joe Sales, of course, is injured, so he was not out there. But then I was really curious to see as well the cornerback because with Davion Ross choosing to leave for Memphis, I left a pretty big gap out there. So they had Marquise Kirkendall, who is a new transfer in, and then they had Trey Gooden on the other side as well. So interesting there to see kind of what they're looking at the first time out for us to see who is running with the ones. You know, Shane Burks, you got to assume he's going to play a big role in the D-line. He played. He wasn't one of the first three out there nonetheless. And again, that offensive line, you know, they have to do better running the football this year. And so they brought in some guys in the offseason to help them do that. Crojon Calvert's one of those guys. And again, he got the run at left guard. Tucker Schroeder, the right guard from last year, returning, of course, as well. So a lot of interesting things up in the air. Football, all the kids are in the process of taking their finals and things like that. So things are starting to slow down a little bit. But, of course, baseball is in the thick of it right now. So make sure you continue to cheer on and support EKU. Sports, softball going on as well, of course, and volleyball, beach volleyball been going on. Golf is wrapping up. But nonetheless, all those things happening. So thank you, first of all, for listening to today's program. Thank you to Max Williams and A.W. Hamilton for coming on the program. Thank you to KB for helping us get those set up. Thank you to our sponsors, All Around Roofing. Again, I have personally now used both of our sponsors. All Around Roofing came and replaced our roof. And again, incredibly fast, incredibly well done. Great people to work with, so make sure you reach out to them if you have any exterior needs and you live in Central Kentucky. Then IPM Pest and Termite, use them at home and church for our pest needs, and would strongly suggest if you have any pest issues to get a hold of IPM Pest and Termite. You can find more information at myipm.com. Make sure you let them know, both IPM and All Around Roofing, if you ever give them a call, make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Sports Stove Local Hour. Thank you for tuning in this week. We'll be back next week with an all brand new episode. Until then, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.
McKinney looks, sets to the pocket, throws, open receiver, touchdown! Colonels, we're not done yet!
Our identity is we're going to press for 40 minutes. We're going to play up-tempo. We're going to play with unbelievable passion. And then our brand is the most exciting 40 minutes in sports.